Hi, everyone. My name is Dr. Jana Scott. I'm going to be the instructor for this course. I'm so excited about the semester that we're going to have together. And I apologize for the crazy delays that we have had in weather and then also just with technology and getting things kind of settled in my role as an adjunct professor. So, as of today, as of Friday, January 26th, we should have everything in working order, and now you should be able to expect our course to continue without any issues. That's what we're going to hope for. But just to let you guys know, we're all in this together, and I understand that life happens and things get in the way. And so we're just going to appreciate patience on both sides of this, and we're going to have a great semester. So I want to kind of give you a few minutes of just an introduction to myself and why I'm teaching this course and who I am, and just kind of start there. And then we will briefly discuss the syllabus. So, like I said, my name is Dr. Scott. I am the director of the Wellness Center of Oxford and the Wellness and Counseling Center of Tupelo. Part of my roles there are to supervise our therapists and then any clinical needs that our clients might have. And I also see my own clients. So I see about 12 to 15 clients a week. And then in addition to that, I am a wife and I am a mom to a 2.5-year-old girl. Her name is Penny, and I will probably reference her a lot throughout this course because she is the best child that I know, and will serve as a great example. So if we don't use our kids for our examples, then it's just a missed opportunity. So you'll hear more about her. But teaching and practicing counseling are my two passions. I really enjoy getting to do both, and so that's why I said I'm so excited about the semester with you guys. We are going to have two main books in this course, and so I hope that was not something that was delayed in communication, but if it is, it's okay. So we are going to be starting out with The Deepest Well. This is such a great book. I'm so excited that we're going to use this text. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I know in my journey to being a counselor and to getting my doctorate, that reading was not always my favorite part of school. And so I've really tried to be mindful of that in this course, especially since we are asynchronous and we are virtual, is that we're not going to have that, face-to-face class time. And so because of that, just naturally there is going to be more reading than I would like, but I've really tried to be selective about how we're going to go about this. And so this book, I will say, out of the two books, if you're going to be having to choose, if you're one of those people that reading is not your favorite, do not put this on your to read later shelf. Let's really try to prioritize reading this book. The way that I have structured our calendar and how we're going to do things is my goal is for us to prioritize this book right out the gate. And we are going to do 6 discussion posts about this book. And I want that to be as if we are in class discussing this, okay? So I want you to use that platform of discussion posts to be concise and to share your point, but that's kind of, we're going to have a little book club on this. So that's what those discussion posts are going to be about. And my goal is for us to have this done before spring break, okay? So the thing that I'm most excited about that I think you're going to learn the most from in the beginning, we're gonna go ahead and hit this hard, okay? So at the same time, we are going to be using this textbook, and I will go ahead and tell you that when I teach this course, there's other like supplemental books or readings or other sources that I like to draw from. And what I love about this textbook is that they also point to a lot of the same books and a lot of the same resources. So this, I really like this a lot. There's exercises in here, and there's a lot of like tools. Sometimes it'll say, go watch this video on YouTube. I will pull some of those and have those available in Blackboard and kind of cull through and give you what I think is the most relevant or could be the most helpful now. But just know that they give so many little extra tips and little extra case studies and things like that I think can be really useful for you. We're just not going to be able to consume every single thing about this book. So, like I said, with this one, we're going to do more of like a book club. Oh, upside down. More of like a book club discussion post, and then with this textbook, this is where you're going to have PowerPoints that you get, and kind of the bulk of what we're going to be moving through. I'll have supplemental things that are added into Blackboard that will complement this reading. At the end of the semester, I'm going to flash forward. At the end of the semester, our final exam will be heavily based off of this book. Okay, so we'll have more information on that in the future, but don't completely discount reading this book. Still try to stay on top of your readings, because that is where your final exam will come from. Okay, so these are the two books, and that is something that I hope that everybody's been able to go ahead and order those. But like I said, if not, I know they're both on Amazon. I know they can get there quickly, and so we'll just work with that. The other 6 assignments that we're going to have pretty regularly that are dispersed throughout are going to be based off of this book and also based off of you guys, and those are our exercises. Okay, so I'm going to post additional exercise assignments. There's going to be 6, like I said, throughout the semester, and in the beginning, you'll go ahead and see for this first week, you have an exercise 1 that is due. Okay, that exercise, there's more information in Blackboard about exactly what I want out of that, but that's an opportunity for you to kind of tell me a little bit more about yourself and what you're looking for in this course, so that those other 5 exercises I can tailor to fit the needs overall of the class and what everybody is wanting to gain from that. So I will be forming those as we go, based on your feedback, based on what we're covering in the book, and maybe some things that I don't feel like the book covers as much as I would like them to. That's going to kind of be some of those extra exercises. Okay, so on this first one, and really when it comes down to the exercises and the discussion posts, I want you to be professional, but I do not expect you to whip out the APA. Please do not do that. That is not appropriate for those things. I don't want you to do that. So I want them to be more of an informal, but I do want them to be professional. Okay. Another thing that I want to kind of cover, or like a disclaimer a little bit about this class, is I don't know if this is a class that you're really, really excited about. I don't know if this is a class that you're like, okay, I have to take it, but I don't ever really want to do anything with counseling children and adolescents. That's okay. That's where we are. That's where we're at, and that's fine. And I want to be able to meet you where you're at in this. The difference I would say about this course than maybe some other more specialty courses like grief counseling or addictions or some of those other populations that you might think of, a trauma class. Not everybody will have experienced addiction. Not everybody will have experienced grief. Not everybody will have experienced trauma. But what's unique about this is that everybody in our class has had a childhood and has had an adolescence. Okay, so I want you to be mindful of that even if you're not super jazzed about counseling children and adolescents, and that's okay, because we all have our own experiences to draw from. Having said that, I also don't want these discussion posts and these exercises to become like your open journal that we're all getting a look into you as a person. I want you to be really aware and really mindful of what you're sharing and why you're sharing it. We are not your therapist. This is not group therapy. I am a therapist. My goal is not to be your therapist through this. And so feel free to, self-disclose and share as it's relevant and as it's beneficial to you and to us. But again, I just don't want anybody to feel the need or feel like there's an expectation that if you did experience some of the things in your childhood that are going to be discussed, especially in this one, especially in the deep as well, I do not expect you to put yourself on blast and let us know, well, I did experience these things as a child. That's not an expectation for me at all. So don't feel like you have to be that way. So I think that kind of covers the books and my expectations there. I want to briefly go over the other 2 assignments that we will use outside of the discussion posts and outside of the ongoing exercises. So as a supervisor, as someone who has counseled children and adolescents since 2016, I will tell you that when I'm talking to new therapists, veteran therapists, like all over the map, the number one conversation that comes up is oh, how do you deal with parents? And so because of that, I'm putting more of an emphasis on that in this course than I ever have before. And so that's where that interview report is going to come from. I will have a separate video that goes through my expectations about that at a later date, since that's not due until March 9th. But again, my goal is that y'all can actually enjoy a spring break. And so we will have that assignment due right before spring break, so that you have time to decompress and I have time to grade. And then the other assignment that you'll have is going to be a video reflection. And so you will watch the movie Antoine Fisher and write a video reflection. And again, I will have more information and guidelines around that in the future. And then our final exam. So this semester is going to be awesome. It's going to go by quick. Spring semesters always do. Online classes are always a blur. But I really, really, really want you, especially in this first exercise that you'll see when you open it up, I want you to be intentional about this time. I want you to think what would be the most beneficial takeaways that you can have from participating in this online course, okay? So I will go ahead and let you know that all of the information in Blackboard, normally, if we had a normal week, will be available to you Sunday. I will have them available starting on Sunday. And then every single assignment is going to be due at 11:59 p.m. on Saturdays, okay? So I want to make that really clear, because I know other online classes at Ole Miss, their deadlines have been a little bit different than that. And so I want to make it really clear that you're aware that 11:59 p.m. on Saturday evenings is when all assignments will be due, okay? As I shared in the beginning, I have a lot of responsibilities. I wear a lot of hats, but that does not mean that I don't prioritize you guys and that your questions are bothersome to me. They are not at all. I will do my due diligence to respond within 24 hours of the business work week. And knowing that your assignments are due at 11:59 on Saturday night, if you have any like assignment specific questions that you need answered before you turn in that, please make sure that you get those to me before 6 p.m. on Friday, okay? So that'll give me an opportunity to respond with enough time for you to complete that. And I think that's it. I think that's all I wanted to cover in this. That's the syllabus. That's where we're going to go this semester. I will let you know that I am able in our Blackboard course to see what you have viewed and if you've viewed it fully. So for example, this video, if you watched the first 3 minutes and then you stopped it and you stopped listening, I'm actually able to see that. I will be checking that throughout just to make sure that you are participating in our online classroom. And that's not in an effort to be big brother. That's really just in the absence of us having that face-to-face meeting time, okay? So please make sure that you're actually actively engaging. If there is something that's optional, if there's an optional resource that I'm uploading to Blackboard, I will make that very clear that that is not something that you are obligated to do. Something that I would do when I was in school, I would create a folder on my desktop for every class that I was taking, especially if it was online. And if there was a resource that got shared that I really liked and wanted to look at later, I would just drag it, drop it, and save it. And so I understand, and that was how I did things. And so I expect that there are going to be things that I share on Blackboard that you might not necessarily want to dive into or digest at that time. That's fine. If it's optional, it's optional, and that is your choice. In here, you get to decide, which is a phrase from play therapy. So when it's optional, you get to make that choice of what you do with it. I will make it very clear the things that I expect you to view and participate in our virtual classroom. So if you have any questions, if you have any needs, please don't hesitate to reach out to me and let me know. And hopefully, fingers crossed, we will not have any more technology glitches. So I'm really excited about this. And yeah, we're going to have a great semester. Bye, guys.